Hey, what's going on, folks? It's Larry of Packmaster's Dog Training here. I want to talk about a specific case that I'm working right now. Two Cane Corsos, for those of you that say it incorrectly. I know it doesn't sound correct saying Cane Corso, but I'm working with two Corsos right now, two females. Female owner who was struggling with some serious dog reactivity when out on the walk. Can't take them for a walk, okay, especially when they're together. And one gets the other one going. And as you know, these are really big, powerful, determined dogs, okay? And so what I want to do is, I just left our third lesson, and I really wanted to talk about, I told the owner I was going to talk about her and what we did today. I won't say her name. She doesn't want me to. You know who you are. Excellent job today. But I want to break it down because this may be the most popular issue that I get called for as a dog trainer. And I think many dog trainers out there will agree. People struggle with dog reactivity all the times when their dogs are on leash, okay? So let's talk about what I did up until the third lesson, and maybe it will help someone out there, okay? All right, lesson one. I show up to the home. She's local. She's in town where I'm at. So when people are local, I still go do the lessons in the home so I can evaluate the dog in their real atmosphere. It makes a big difference. It really helps, okay? So what I see from day one of the dogs is extremely mellow, well-behaved, calm, almost more submissive, and the other one is extremely rude and pushy. Very, very pushy, ill-mannered, doesn't have a lot of manners at home, in the home. Really pushed up on me hard, trying to get in my treat bag, you know? And we have an owner who's a wonderful person, but really spoils the dogs really, really bad. And we talked about that, and I'm honest with people. And I was pretty hard on her, okay? And I explained to her how the things she's doing created these issues, you know? And she's been to another trainer, at least one other trainer I know of, and, you know, just not getting the success. So I told her, we can fix this, not a problem. But the things in the home have to change, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, okay? If we allow dogs to be assholes inside the home, they're going to be bigger assholes outside the home. It's that simple. We have to address the stuff inside the home and stop the bad habits and create some good habits, okay? So we went over that. It was a rough lesson because I was very hard on her, and I don't think she liked it that much. But when I take a check from someone, when someone pays me a good amount of money to train their dogs, I'm not there just to take the money. I'm going to give you everything I have, period. I'm going to give you everything I have, and I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, whether you like it or not. That's just what I do. And, you know, you have to be honest with people, whether they like it or not, if we're going to get true, everlasting results. So that first lesson, we separate the dogs. We took the one that was more pushy, the more dominant of the two dogs. We went straight to the e-collar conditioning, okay, right to the start. We did the very short e-collar conditioning session, put that dog away, we did the other dog. She's got two dogs, so I split it up. I'm splitting the time. And I'll go through this kind of fast. So we started the conditioning, as I do with all dogs, with both dogs separately. Short sessions. Got the owner as comfortable as I can handling the e-collar and the dogs. And her homework for that week was very simple. Continue the conditioning a couple of minutes at a time, few times a day, only with the recall, okay? Practicing the recall with the leash, the e-collar, the marker, and rewarding every time for that week. That was it. That's all I asked. There's no corrections. We're not addressing any of the bad behavior, none of that stuff. Just get the dogs comfortable with understanding what the sensation for the e-collar is, and get the owner comfortable handling it. That's it. The mechanics, the leash, using the marker correctly with the timing. That was it. Week one. Okay, she did that. Week two, I come back. I have her start, show me what you've been doing all week. She shows me and did pretty good, not bad. You know, the dogs definitely still had a lot of work to go. But now we added the place command also. And so, like we do with all dogs, we taught the place command, no e-collar, just all through food, all through motivation, all through positive reinforcement. Once we taught the dogs and they understood the place command correctly, they understood it well enough to add the e-collar over it, then we started doing that. Okay, the dogs already knew how to sit pretty good. So by the second lesson, we're working on the recall, we're working on place, and we're adding sit in there. all in the conditioning phase. So basically using the e-collar and rewarding every time, okay? Still not addressing the behavioral problems with the reactivity. I don't care about that at this point. I'm not going to address that up until this point. And I asked the owner to continue to work on the stuff in the home. No bullshit. Stop the bad habits. They're not babies. They're dogs. Let's fix them because they're big, powerful dogs, okay? Period. All right. So I think we might have missed a week. I took a week off. I like to start spreading them out as the lessons go. So today I come for lesson 3. I think the owner's first words when she came out of the house was, "You're not going to yell at me today, are you?" And I said, "Well, that depends how much you cooperate." And I said, "Now let's just get started." I said, "Okay, take out the first dog, which is the more pushy dog." I said, "Let me see what you've been doing." So she worked on the place command, the recall, sit, all using the e-collar. And she did very well. I said, "Good job. You did good. Okay, I'm proud of you." And I tell people that I'm proud of you. You did very good. I said, "Let's go for a walk and find some dogs." All right. So now I take the dog. I put the dog in a heel and we're walking. If the dog is working on a 10 on the mini educator around the home, which it was, I'm not going to go out on a 10. So what I did was I go right up in the 30s. Okay. And so we go for a walk and we're looking for dogs. And now I'm not looking just to correct this and punish the dog. That's not what we're doing. So along the way, when we're not seeing any dogs, I'm working on the sit and I'm doing a little obedience along the way. All right. Now, for me, I'm just starting to use it a little intermittently for the dog, just to prep the dog for the reactivity. So let me tell you what I mean by that. At one moment, I give the dog the e-collar, stim, uncontinuous, ask the dog to sit. The dog sits. I reward the dog. Next time, I ask the dog to sit, no e-collar. The dog hesitates and doesn't sit. I tap the e-collar up in the 30s. The dog sits real fast. Good job. Heel. Let's go. Okay, you understand? You see the picture? Now, I know we're going to come upon some dogs here real quick. Down the street, I see a couple of dogs loose on the front lawn. Lady said they have an underground fence. I said, okay. So I go up in the 50s, all right? Because in the 30s, it was barely phasing the dog, okay? It wasn't even a twitch, really. So now what you folks have to understand, some people are going to say, oh, that's really high. No, the number's all relative. It's only too high if the dog has a bad reaction, okay? So we let the dog dictate the level of the e-collar. But at the same time, we have to stop the issues now. And now the dog has been prepped for a few weeks to understand that there's certain things you can't do. And now the dog is prepared to take a correction. Okay, we prepared the dog to take a correction. So I put the e-collar up in the 50s and I show the owner. The owner's going to know everything we're doing. We see the dogs as we approach, okay? Before our dog, the Corso, barely saw those dogs, without doing anything, I say no, and I tap the e-collar in the 50s. And the dog gave a little twitch, definitely felt it, but it snapped that dog out of that state of mind of getting into a zone where the dog's ready to explode, okay? So the second the dog started becoming stimulated, I mean, the least amount of stimulation, we were still pretty far. I tap the dog, and the dog snaps out of it, and we continue to walk, all right? Now, with that being said, those dogs in the underground fence, both of them became very aggressive, coming to the edge, and your body posture was not good, being very challenging to the Corso. You know what that Corso did? Nothing. It didn't avoid them. It looked normal. The dog had its mouth open, walked by nice and relaxed. Beautiful. The dog doesn't do that ever. So that's our first big success right there. Beautiful. Now when we come around the corner, we see an old man walking a little dog up the street, and the owner says that's the worst nightmare. The little dogs we have a problem with the little dogs. I say, okay, great. So we catch up to the dog. Again, it's in the 50s. Now at this time, I wait till the dog gets a little stimulated, and I ask the dog to sit, which of course she did not because she was so fixated on the little dog. Without repeating the command, I tapped the e-collar one time up in the 50s. That dog sat very fast. I said, good job. I rewarded that, and we continued to walk. And we caught up to that little dog. You know what the Corso did as we got up and walked next to that older gentleman with the little dog? Nothing. Completely relaxed, okay? We prevented the mind from going to where it's used to being. And I saw the look on the owner's face. She was so happy. And we talked about it. And it's really a great thing for people. And what I told her was, I'm going to talk about this tonight because so many people suffer with this, just like you have been. And so you can't get your dogs out and do anything because life is miserable. And it says, I need to talk about what we did because there's more people than you think that are going through what you did. And then right before we got back home, one of the dog's main nemesises, if that's a word, nemesises, Little dog behind the fence is another really big issue. We came up to the fence. The little dog charged the fence, hit the fence, is going crazy. I didn't have to say or do anything. The Corso just walked like the dog wasn't in there. Didn't avoid the dog. Wasn't scared to look over there. Wasn't under any kind of stress. No kind of tension. It was beautiful. Beautiful, okay? So now we get back. I said, go get the other one. Now we took the other dog back, who really feeds off the dominant one and can also get things going herself. So I had her work a little obedience, the things that she knows, down, sit, come, place, all that stuff. And I said, let's go. We go for a walk. So we went up by the fence where the little dog is. I had her set the e-collar. I can't remember if she was up in the 30s, 40s, 50s. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it was high. It was high for that dog. All right. Now, I told her, I said, when I say now, you say no. I don't even remember if I had her say no, but I think I said, you say no, and I want you to tap when I tell you to. So as we were walking, approaching that fence, that dog started going apeshit, the little dog behind the fence, and that Corso perked up and started getting fixated. I said, now. She said no, and she tapped up on a high level, and that dog did a big flinch, and you know what she did after that? Nothing. Settled down and walked right past that dog like it wasn't even there. And when we turned around, we walked the other way, right past that dog again, and we had two insanely calm, beautiful Corsos and a very proud and happy owner. That's what it's all about, guys. So I know people like to see dogs, and I try to show as much as I can, but honestly, guys, you can't film something like that unless you set out to do so. And then the work kind of takes a back seat, because it's hard doing that. And I didn't expect it to go this way today. I hoped, but I didn't know. But I thought it was really important to share, because I can't tell you how many trainers I talk to on a weekly basis that struggle with this. And the amount of owners, forget it. This is so common, unfortunately, in the dog world. People struggle with their dogs on the walk and reactivity, you know. But this was a really big plus today. And this was our third lesson. And the third lesson is, that seems to be the magic number, guys. So I put in the work always in the first two lessons. There's no corrections, you know. I don't address the problems. And that's just me. If you do, I'm not saying that's wrong. But for me, I don't address the big problems up front. And I've talked about this over and over. I address them on the back end. Today was the back end, and it worked out beautifully. So I hope this helps someone out there. Now, the next time we meet, maybe I will try to film it. We're going to the dog park. Not in the dog park, but we'll be outside the fence with both dogs at the same time. It'll be a big test, and we're going to work those dogs outside the dog park together, because together they are tougher. There's no doubt about it. And we'll see if maybe we could film that and get you guys some video. But I thought it was important to share, guys, because, you know, today there's your everyday average dog owner who's struggling. And right now she's really happy. And I hope she's really proud of herself, because she did a great job. She did a really great job, okay? And that's not for me. I just gave her the tools and the know-how to get it going. And we're going to make it better and better. Today's just lesson 3. We got at least 3 more to go, and these dogs will be rock stars because of the work she's putting into it, okay? So I hope this helps someone out there. I'm going to go home and grab some dinner now. It's late. It's been a long day. Someone stole my freaking mailbox today in the middle of the day. If I find you, God have mercy on your soul, okay? I hope you see this. Lord, God have mercy on your soul if I find you. It's not going to be good, I promise you. I don't care who it is either. God bless you. Be careful. Peace.